How do we become multipliers of our knowledge, our skills, to multiply our impact? Look for the pain point. Don't start with AI. Start with somewhere in the process that causes friction. Put AI to work there. Have a small group test things out, learn from it, grow it. And those little successes turn into bigger successes and it balloons. We're seeing about 5,000 hours per month or every 4 weeks in return, which is huge.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Missions to Movements. I am your host, Dana Snyder, and I am here in beautiful Seattle at the Global Nonprofit Leaders Summit. I am so thrilled to have sitting across from me, Tim Bachta, VP of Global Technology at Children International. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I love it. I want to kick off with something that we were just talking about before we hit record, and that's you have a very interesting background coming into the role that you've been in now for 5.5 years.
Yep.
And how has your life changed since you went from, we were talking about using the for-profit sector, now working in nonprofit. What have you brought with you that you think has really made a powerful impact, and what really has the sector brought to your life and your career?
Yeah, so start with what I brought with, and really the mindset of it's still business. We're about connecting the revenue with the mission instead of the revenue with the investors. And so how do we drive more value from that revenue coming in to our mission, to the families, to the children that we serve?
Yep.
How do we provide more services? How do we provide services to more children, more families out there? We have a big goal that we talked about earlier, going from currently about 220,000 kids we work with. Over the next 3 years, we want to get to 275,000 or more. So big goal. And through technology, we're looking at doing that.
That's
leveraging
amazing.
it to be more efficient, more effective. From what it's done to me, really, it's every day I have the opportunity to kind of think and look back, and you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, I'm going to do something that's going to add value. And you go to bed at night and know you've helped somebody, some child somewhere, had the opportunity many times to go out to the field and see our teams in action and see the families and youth they work with. And my best story I have down in Guatemala about 2 years ago, meeting a family going through our letter collection process, and the kid comes up with a chicken. And he's like, here, this is for you. I'm like, I can't. and he's just, and the mom was just like, well, we're just so appreciative for what we do, for the opportunities that we have through Children International.
Giving to you like the most meaningful thing from him, probably. Yeah.
And it's like he wanted to give me one of his pet chickens. Like, thank you very much, but I can't.
This won't do well on the airplane back home.
No, I think that would not make it through customs.
No, probably not. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. You have said something that stuck with me in an earlier piece, and that was too much of our human capacity is spent on tasks that don't require human empathy. Yeah. What has this looked like in the transformation that you've led in integrating Copilot, specifically, I'll just name, and can you talk about maybe a before and after?
Yeah, think about processes and tasks you do. We did in the past, but most people do currently. A lot of time you're doing these mundane tasks or repeatable tasks, things that I've been doing the same thing over and over again for the past umpteen years. Being able to leverage systems, tools like Copilot, where you can teach it to automate those things, teach it to do those things for you, and be your assistant to get those done. You're not letting them run rampant.
Right.
It's helping you get that work done. So now you're able to take those hours that you used to spend there and put them into something more powerful. I heard the story before about the letter translation, how it went from something it would take 8 hours to translate a letter down to less than a few minutes to translate a letter. Yeah. Which is huge. And so they're able to put that time back into the families and youth that they work with.
Yes.
Really make more of an impact than what we did before.
Yes. And I want to dive into that. So there was a video that they shared this morning during the keynote for the listeners and viewers right now that shared this beautiful story about how you've really created the skills training on the field level. So something that you mentioned was that 80% of those using Copilot are not in the home office. Can you walk us through prioritizing training the field staff and walk us through like that story? And that came from them, specifically this. Yeah.
So again, it's all about impact. It's all about what we do, our mission. Our mission isn't doing the paperwork and stuff we're doing at home office. It's delivering those services to the youth, to the families, to the children we work with. And so you look at our how we're structured too, a lot of our staff is the staff in the field. How do we get them the tools? How do we work with them on the training? And that's where we focused on. Quickly, yes, it was a home office led implementation, IT led, but it was we see the value in this tool in the hands of the users.
Right.
And it was getting them the training, getting that feedback loop coming through, using that champions network, which is huge. We've used it in a couple different rollouts with Microsoft Technologies, and it works great because you have those local champions, those local people that know the local problems, they know the local context, and they're able to share the wins as well as some of the failures and learn from them and grow with them and create this culture of innovation learning, not just in the agency or the community center, but throughout. And the sharing through the other tools helps that tremendously.
So cool. One of the things that the field worker, the gentleman mentioned in the video, was that the translation from receiving the letters from sponsors, donors, used to take 8 hours, like a day sometimes, or?
Yeah, it used to take the old DHL process, I call it, was we'd get a letter from a sponsor family into home office, look through it, make sure everything was kosher with it. And if everything was good, we'd stack them up and take a month or so. Okay, we got enough to send, ship it through. And so that process could be a month, could be 2 months before we hit that limit. Ship it out, it'd reach them in a week via DHL. They get them in the agency and just have to separate them out by community center. Take another week to get them to the community center. Get to the community center. Okay, now we got to figure out what this goes to. So it was this real long process. Bring it on back. Same process going through. And so it was a very labor-intensive process, a very long process. And really part of what we're trying to do is bring the sponsors and these children closer together, to have that that support system, that person that's being their champion, being there for them, somebody that they can communicate with, somebody they can build a relationship with. And it's really hard to do that when you're not getting a reply for 6 months.
You probably forgot that you sent it,
Yeah. And so now we're on a fully digital process. It's a matter of days, less than a week between receipt and acknowledgement and letters happening. So I sponsor a child, Christopher, in Mexico. We probably write every other month. And I send him pictures and he sees the most current things and he sends me back drawings and pictures. So it's he understands my family. I understand his family, and there's a bond there.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And something you had said, an early goal was there was a demand for change.
Yeah.
I think listeners, viewers, everyone probably has a demand for change right now. What actually made your team, leadership, take the initiative? Because a lot of times in our sector, a lot of things don't move quickly, historically. How did everyone come to the agreement to say, yes, we are improving this. We are taking the action to actually make change.
Top down, we saw that we weren't going to be able to scale. We weren't going to be able to deliver on the mission we wanted to unless we changed the way we utilize technology, unless we utilize technology to empower, enable us. At the time, it was a drag. It was a boat anchor. It would take days, weeks, months, years to get changes put in.
Wow.
And now it's minutes, hours. Had a session earlier, we talked, John, one of our directors of EpDev, had some examples of where even him, over a weekend, we have a need for a tracking application for contracts. He's like, I can do that. He's not a coder. He asked Copilot what to do, and over a weekend, they had something kicked out in the hands of the users.
Yeah.
Our teams had the need for the tracking app for participation tracking. Like, we need to get something out there quick. Had GitHub Copilot, created it within a weekend, out within a week, getting feedback, getting that real live touch points back quickly. And now it's utilized by all of our global staff and all of our programs.
Fabulous. For something that I've heard a lot is we're just doing the same old thing. We keep doing the same thing, and we sometimes expect somehow different results from those things. For the smaller organizations that don't have the massive teams or tech infrastructure, what would be your recommendations for them to still be able to make massive? I think there's a huge potential actually in the small organizations to do this because you don't have a massive bureaucracy around you. But what would be your thoughts for them?
Yeah, I think they're the ones that have the most access, I think, to this and can provide the most impact because you have these tools that can multiply what you're able to put in there and scale it so much. And again, really, it's diving in, using them.
Right. Yeah.
It's looking for that use case where you're not spending your time efficiently.
Yeah.
In applying Copilot, applying AI to that and learning from it. And just, you'd be amazed at how much little investment you put in has such big results.
Just being curious.
Yeah. Talked earlier about we have 500 users out there. We're seeing about 5,000 hours per month or every 4 weeks in return, which is huge.
Amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. And so 7 months ago now, I started using Vibe AI. And I've had a 4-month, my niche is in monthly giving and building out monthly giving programs. And I took everything I've done over the past 5-6 years with my IP and my book and built out through Replit this framework tool, this like monthly giving companion. And I'm not a coder. I'm definitely not a coder. But as long as you knew what prompts and what outputs you wanted to receive, you're able to train it and work with it. And I did hire an AI and Replit expert to help me and guide me through the process. But still, as primarily a solopreneur, like there's so much potential for how you can scale what you're doing. And you're seeing that firsthand, especially in the field teams.
Yeah, if you can talk through the problem and query and have that conversation, you can figure things out and it'll help you. It'll help you build these out. And then it's about just trying it.
Yeah.
So what if you make a mistake? I joke with the team sometimes, like, when you were a baby, you didn't come out running, did you? No, you crawled, you fell, you hurt yourself.
We don't give each other enough grace. Or ourselves enough grace.
We give the grace to learn, give the grace to make mistakes, and share those mistakes as well as the success.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing is if you're not sharing within your organization, share it within your community, within the group. And that's what Microsoft does a great job of, is giving us nonprofits that community to share those experiences with.
That's huge. I definitely believe and have taught the mastermind concept of finding those. If there's more than 2 of us in a room, we have a mastermind and can have knowledge sharing, and you want to be supportive for each other. That's a great point. When you first started to debut what you were doing, were you learning from anyone else, or were you just building that as you went?
I am never the smartest person in the room, so I am always learning. I don't want to ever be the smartest person in the room because then we're in trouble.
Agreed.
But yeah, it's learning from, especially the field, because I don't have that experience that they have. I don't see what they see. Learning how they're utilizing these tools. And that helps me too, of how do I work with our partners to provide better tools, better opportunities.
Yeah.
And so that loop back, that feedback is huge. Having that collaboration, having that understanding, talking with our other nonprofit groups was huge too. Like CRS, I've talked to a lot. It's working together. We all have very similar problems. And that's one thing I absolutely love about nonprofits is we're not competitors. We're peers.
That's right.
And we share these and learn from each other and help out each other. So I can't emphasize enough that
if you're trying to do it alone, don't do it alone.
Yeah.
Reach out, ask people, find others dealing with similar things that are working on solutions together.
Exactly.
I just had a whole conversation earlier with ALS, and they were talking about now the research that's shared amongst everyone around the world, ALS, to be able to advance something together. It's just extraordinary what technology and AI together has made possible. And speaking of, so your goal you talked about is to increase direct child interventions by 25% in 4 years without hopefully going crazy on ballooning a budget.
We all know fundraising's hard. So.
You're like, we're going to try and keep it lean machine.
Yep.
Where do you actually see AI in helping to move that number? And what would you deem successful in like a year or in 2 years' time?
AI and technology in general, it's going to be a key enabler to it. Being able to offload the repetitive things that we do, the manual processes we have, streamlining those to give back that time. We're already seeing it. We talked about the translation pieces. We talked about, in a session I had earlier, about our registration process. That's like 50-something steps. How do we condense that? How do we look at areas to automate that so we can quickly register children and youth as they come in? So we have registration sessions in communities where we look to make sure we qualify them to make sure that they're in need, and then try to get a commitment with the families of here's what our programs look like. It involves, we want you to be here for a couple hours a week, participating in these programs, learning, here's the path. And being able to get that done quicker, we can register more children, register more families, get them in and work with them quicker. So we've called it out from the top, but it was organic even, where technology is going to be the thing that we utilize to get there.
Yeah, bravo. That's amazing. And you've said, we're letting technology, as you've said, do the things computers can do so that we can do the things only humans can do.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned a little bit before, for a smaller nonprofit that might be on the other side of the world or they're in the States with not many of the resources, but yet so many of them can be free.
Yeah.
What's like the first step that you think they should take to really start living in this new reality truly that we're in?
Identify the problem.
Yeah.
Look for the pain point. Don't start with AI. I said this before. Don't start with the solution. Start with where is there a part somewhere in the process that causes friction, causes us to do more work and less mission focused. Put AI to work there. Have a small group test things out. Yep. Share their experiences. Learn from it. Grow it. You'll be amazed at how quickly that builds, and those little successes turn into bigger successes, and it balloons.
That's right.
And you learn along the way, and you learn for the next step and the next step.
And something that you mentioned also in the keynote this morning was finding your champions. So can you explain, how did you create that community feeling of champions inside the organization?
It definitely wasn't a directive. It wasn't, nope, you're going to be a champion. that doesn't
I don't know
work.
if that would work.
No. We started small. We had groups of individuals that kind of asked their staff, their managers, who's somebody that's playing around in AI already? And we reached out to them. Here's what we're looking at doing. Would you be willing to spend extra time? Because it took time away from their job to learn about this and to be a proponent of it and to teach. And we started with just a handful. And now we have, I want to say, almost 50 plus champions out there, at least 1 to 2 in each agency. Most agencies have a handful.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Do they collaborate together? Okay.
Yeah. So it's a two-way street. And actually, more information flows up than it goes down. They're the ones alerting me that, hey, this new tool came out here in Copilot. Can we get this publicized on the webpage so that everybody knows about it?
That's
okay.
That's fascinating. Is the goal with that to continue expanding it, or do you keep it tight? Do people switch in and out, or to be determined?
To be determined. It's very fluid. What I'm finding is more and more of the staff, they're engaging more and more. They're learning more and more. They want to learn more and more. Just did a survey about 3 weeks ago. General, just how do you feel Copilot AI is performing? Are you comfortable with it? Results were great. 90+% people liked it. They feel like they are empowered more. But the areas where we're a little bit lower, still there, like 70-80% was around learning. People want to know where they can find more resources. They want to learn more. Can we get certified in things? It's the passion of, they
I'm
see
hungry for this.
The hunger. Yeah, they see it and they see the benefits and they see what it's driving. And talk about the results. That to me, that's where it is. If people want to learn, especially from a nonprofit that historically, 5-6 years ago, we weren't changing things very much. We weren't very technology focused. To now, it's when I go to the field, I'm asked about these things. People are,
You're in keynotes.
Yeah. This is great.
Right. It's Microsoft's keynote event talking about technology.
Yeah. I mean, we've come a long way, and other nonprofits are the same way. It's the technology is there, and it's easily accessible for all nonprofits. You don't have to be 1,100 people like us. You can be 11 people.
Right. So good. 5.5 years in. Let's just say the next, I'm not even going to say 5.5, the next 3. How do you envision your role and anybody in the nonprofit space that has your role evolving?
Grand teacher.
I love that.
I think that's really the role of leadership, is to teach and to multiply. How do we become multipliers of our knowledge, our skills, to multiply our impact overall? It's less and less and less about, you still set direction, still set strategy, but part of it's teaching people why we're going that direction so that they have that sense of ownership, sense of empowerment around it.
Yeah.
And it helps with change management too when they understand and know how to use tools and why to use tools.
Absolutely. And I wonder if this is also, we've been a sector with usually horrific retention rates in our own staff.
Yeah.
And the excitement that they have for learning, and if the organization is providing them with the resources to really feel empowered and supported as a staff member, if that will overall change traditionally for decades and decades what's been happening. I know, right?
Knock on wood, we have a very good retention rate at CI.
Amazing.
And I think part of that is because we do, and we have over the past empowered our teams to utilize tools that make their lives better.
Yeah.
I got a story around that too, and I use this, and I didn't say it here yet, but
just heard it here.
Just heard it here. I had a staff member reach out to me about a year ago, and she's like, Tim, I just want to thank you for giving us Copilot and let us use it. I had a really tough meeting with my manager on the schedule, and I was really nervous about it, and my watch even said, you need to take a break, you're stressed out. Well, I heard you talk about Ask Copilot, and so they plugged in the questions they had in Copilot, and Copilot came up with answers for them in a script and helped them through it.
Wow.
And she told me, she's like, within 30 seconds, the watch was off.
Calm.
My heart rate was down. I felt calm. Went into that meeting, and it was great. Things flowed well. I had a coach there. I had someone to help me. And that's what I was like, okay, now we're it's not just work, it's the personal aspect of work. Right. And it's having the tools at your disposal at your work to help you do more and really feel good about what you're doing. I think it's
so amazing. Yeah. Well, you should definitely feel very good about what you're doing. So Tim,
I love it.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the work that you do and for continuing to push and raise the bar higher.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.